Hey guys, I'm Wybie Loon, and today I'm trying something new. This is my first time making a video like this, so I'm just putting this out there and getting a feel for it. If you enjoy and want more of this, it's important you comment and tell me, or leave a like, so I know to make another one. Today we're talking about Hazbin Hotel. I'm one of those fans that's been around since the pilot was released back in 2019, and I actually can't recommend it enough. Go to YouTube and watch it. As far as I'm aware, it's considered to be canon, so it might give you a little more insight into your favorite characters. I can go more into the pilot another time, but for now, on with episode 1. The first thing I notice is the opening sequence. Maybe I'm a little spoiled from watching too much anime, but I would have preferred a proper opening sequence. On the one hand, the opening is bright, snappy, uses a musical sting and gets to the point quickly, which I like. It saves more time for the actual show. On the other hand, an opening hypes up the show, and can actually be what makes someone watch it. A small note, something I didn't notice at first was the title card. If you pay attention to it for a moment, you start to notice images laced into it to represent each of the main characters. There are webs to represent Angel to the left and right. The bottom right has cards to represent Husk. Just below him we see a threaded needle to represent Nifty. Perhaps the one for Nifty is a little obscure, but remember that her weapon is a needle and it starts to make sense. On the bottom left we have cogs for Serpentius. At the top, we have an apple in the center which could serve to represent Charlie and Lucifer, and on either side of that, there's antlers to represent Alistair. I would prefer for Charlie to have her own symbol outside of the apple, since it feels like she's still very much in her father's shadow, instead of stepping out on her own. Which really, she is. She only gets the interview with heaven because of her dad's connections. I suppose one could argue that the key might represent Charlie, seeing as the hotel is hers, and it's positioned dead center on the title card, maybe showing how all the characters are connected there by her. Moving on, the show opens on a simply animated sequence telling us the backstory about Lucifer, his fall, his wife Lilith and eventually his daughter. I like the animation here because it really does look like paper cutouts used to illustrate a children's book, which it turns out, it is. So nice bit of foreshadowing there. The book may well have been made for her by Lucifer. Another little bit of foreshadowing I like is that one of the illustrated angels is clearly Sarah from episode 6, showing us that she has been there since the beginning. All of this gets a lot more interesting though if you know a bit of Christian and Jewish background. Lilith, who is never mentioned in the Bible, was in the Torah. She was Adam's first wife, but, feminist as she was, she didn't take well to Adam telling her what to do, believing herself to be his equal, and left the Garden of Eden. It's uncertain whether she left of her own accord or was banished. Eventually, she came to be known as the mother of demons and is sometimes depicted as being a succubus. While she is a demon, apparently, people's views of her have changed in more recent years, many now viewing her as a positive symbol of female freedom and empowerment. That's not to say though that anyone should go trying to summon these things, if their faith is that way inclined. The only knowledge we have of these beings is from a book that's thousands of years old. We can't know how they really are, and it's too dangerous to find out. For anyone wondering my own inclination, and how I know what I know, I'm Christian, but not the crazy kind. I'm also a spiritualist. I've seen spirits since I was a kid, and about 10 years ago, I took up witchcraft, which has resulted in me studying a whole bunch of paranormal things and multiple religions. I'm also non-binary and asexual, so this is a safe, tolerant place. Meaning that intolerant comments will be deleted and blocked. On with the show. In the next sequence we see the ad created by Alistair for the hotel, and there's a couple things here to note. First, there's the quality of the ad. It looks like it was recorded on a VHS tape. The vid's effects look like something straight out of the 90s from PowerPoint or something, which given Al's extreme dislike of modern technology makes sense as something his character would create. Also, there's his smile. The famous smile, because even though he's always grinning and trying to use a jovial tone, I love that what he's actually feeling still comes out through his eyes and body language, like when Wybie questions his ad, you can see, where his hand is resting on top of the TV, which is also ancient. His claws have dug grooves into the top of the set. A subconscious action I believe from being annoyed. By the way, sorry about how Wybie's name is pronounced. AI voices can only do so much. Regardless, shortly after, Charlie goes to take a call and Angel asks,
"If Freaky Face over there is so powerful, then why can't he just make people stay here?"
To which Alistair responds,
"Oh, trust me, I can."
Shameless plug for my own paintings. Links above and below. And in this moment, Angel is acting as an audience surrogate, meaning he's a way for the audience to ask questions about the world. The problem is, Angel's been in hell since the 1940s, and Alistair is what's called an overlord. A super-powered demon, and is famous for killing or at least horribly maiming other demons. Less powerful demons avoid Alistair for this reason. The reason Angel doesn't know is covered in the pilot, but it's not mentioned in the show, so new audiences have no way to know this information. The fact that Alistair can make people do things is then used to introduce us to Husk and Nifty, a couple of demons who have for one reason or another, sold their souls to Alistair. A clever little bit of storytelling there. We also see the dynamic between Angel and Husk begin to form here, which is played for laughs. Angel comes off as a fairly happy guy, and funny. Just look up Honeycast on YouTube. The stuff Angel and Alistair's old voice actors got up to was hilarious, but being that his job is adult video actor, a lot of this character's true feelings are carefully hidden beneath jokes, exhibitionism, and sidestepping. We'll get into this guy's trauma at another time. So Charlie is told that her dad got her an interview with heaven, she's hyper excited, and we go into our first song of the series, Happy Day in Hell. It's really quite peppy, upbeat and honestly hopeful, which gives us a look into Charlie's character. She's genuine, she truly does love her people, she wants what's best for them and really believes she finally got a shot at making it happen. All of this is shown alongside any number of graphic, lewd, or gory images to emphasize the real difference between her feelings and the way hell really is. You could easily get the impression that Charlie's been sheltered most of her life as, at a later point in the show, she acts shocked that Valentino can just do whatever he wants to Angel and get away with it. She doesn't seem to understand the hell is considered the end of the road to most demons, so why bother treating anyone kindly? The place is out to get you and you have to think of number one. Her dream could be considered by some as a nice idea, but also hopelessly naive. Although, it may also be that she's aware of just how horrible everything is, but being in her position, she's never been truly under threat from another demon. Nobody who knows who she is would dare, but because she's never been under attack, she has no concept that this doesn't apply to the regular citizens. So, Charlie goes to what is essentially Heaven's embassy in hell. This is where we meet our first angels, Adam and Loot. Adam is pretty much in charge of Heaven's army, and Loot is his aggressive, brown-nosed, yes person who he has no respect for, even going so far as to casually call her, Danger Tits. It is unusual to see that the angels have horns, or at least have them on their helmets, which is an interesting depiction because, why wouldn't they? Who decided that only demons have them? And why demons have them is a whole other thing that I'm not gonna go into in this vid. Tell me if you want more info on that. Adam is one of those characters you love to hate. He's loud, brash, overbearing, and thinks he can do no wrong. It's no wonder Lilith left him. But regardless, he's voiced by Alex Brightman, who played Beetlejuice in the stage musical as well as many other characters in the show's universe, and is incredible in every role he plays. So as annoying and cruel as Adam is, he's also a joy to watch because of Alex's performance. But at the same time, his behaviors are so dialed up to 11, that they become entertaining to watch. He's also a giant man baby and disgustingly small-minded. All in all, you can tell he was the first human, because God took one look at him and said, "Think I need to try again." He is anything but the perfect human, making it very surprising that he became an angel, but seeing as he was the first, there were so few other people around to judge him next to, so of course he automatically got upgraded to angel. There are a few thoughts concerning his flaws and place in heaven or hell, but I'll leave that for another video. Also, love the joke about his favorite food being ribs, and the fact that Lucifer gave Charlie the interview because he didn't want to see Adam. There'd be awkwardness there since he stole Adam's wife. We go back to Wybie, trying to convince everyone to make a new ad. At this point, all attempts are failing, so she makes a deal with Alistair. Help her make a great ad, and she won't ask him to do anything with TV technology ever again, and while this goes by quite quickly and seems to have no downsides, I can't help thinking it's going to come back to bite her in the butt in season 2. Someone like Alistair is not going to forget the details of deal. On a side note, Angel and Husk are reading off their lines at the bar, and part of me gets a real giggle at the thought of Keith David, in the booth, shouting,
"I ain't no actor, I can't memorize this shit."
Charlie eventually gets through Adam talking about every little bit of nonsense that enters his little head and starts talking about the exterminations. He has almost completely eaten her time, so she has to get it out quickly. Adam interjects however with the second song of the show, Hell is Forever, in which he explains, he really doesn't care about the sinners, they deserve what they get, and actually, he really enjoys the extermination, so he's gonna do it twice a year. His not caring about sinners is a little odd though, since every sinner in hell is descended from him, making him their many times removed grandfather, but apparently he's too self-absorbed to see that. Or the fact the girl he was bragging about having had sex with, is also related to him. Charlie goes back to the hotel after this, to find that the cast have actually pulled together and made a new commercial, and a blink and you'll miss it moment here is, when it shows the start of the advert, all of the characters except for Charlie are present, except that Alistair stood far off to the right with his back turned to the camera, while the image of him glitches out. This is a thing that happens multiple times over the show and is a little bit I find interesting and kinda funny. The adverts interrupted and there's this moment with Angel exclaiming and gesturing with his hands which, when I noticed it, I cracked up, since in life, he was a member of the Italian mafia in America. The news goes out that exterminations are going from once a year to twice a year and naturally, people are horrified. The episode ends on a shot of Adam in loot in a sort of plane, going over hell, and finding the decapitated head of one of their soldiers, which is a huge deal. See, angels are nigh on untouchable, creating a wonderful bit of intrigue to end the episode on and give the watcher just one more reason to want to see episode 2 and find out where all of this is going. Overall, I think this was a really good first episode. A problem during the pilot is that the humor and action was very snappy, to the point that it was hard for some people to follow. It's been slowed down a bit in the official show, giving much better comedic and dramatic timing. There's a lot of information to set in this episode, such as the location, the characters, who they are, why they want what they want, lore, and all of it's done in a fairly time-efficient way. In the first episode, we learn who Charlie is, why she exists, what she wants, how she plans to get it, an introduction to the team that will help that, and the first cause of real conflict which gets the show off to a great start. All in all, it was everything that we ancient fans had hoped for. And like I mentioned earlier, I would actually recommend that you go and watch the pilot. It's still funny, despite its age, and gives you an extra 30 minutes of your favorite characters, and who wouldn't want that? And that was my take on the first episode of Hazbin Hotel. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments as I really want people's opinions. Was this any good? Would you like another one? But regardless, I'll see you again in the next speed paint video. Thanks for watching.